Studying is a word that's been abused. So I'm going to stick with learning.
Why is it abused?
Because people think studying means sitting down and looking like how a student should look. Whether they're actually absorbing or they're memorizing or they're learning in the wrong way, nobody cares. They want you to, parents and teachers and school system, they just want you to sit down and study. What you actually do there, they don't actually teach you. So every kid, on an average, tries to say, what am I supposed to do here? Okay, and the teacher will say, read. So you read. If you don't understand, you keep going forward because, you don't know what to do. Or they'll say, do the questions at the end. So you start doing the questions and you can't do them. So you look over there. And you try to figure out how to get past this position you're put in where you have to look like you are studying and learning and there will be a test. So you try to find the shortest cut to get there so that the pressure on you to look like a student is off instead of actually enjoying the process. So the word studying has been hijacked by this inability to, I should say that the word studying has been hijacked because people have used a shortcut way to teach studying rather than actually explain it. And that's what we're going to do today. So that's why I'm calling it learning. Okay, so the first thing, going back, is that your relationship with learning is a long-term relationship. And it is a long-term commitment. That has so many meanings. Meaning that you should not create a wrong relationship that's a long-term relationship. It will be a pain on your side the whole time. It's like sitting on a thorn. Imagine your relationship with a seat. There's a thorn in the seat. When will it not bother you? It will bother you your whole life. If you don't have the right relationship with learning, it will bother you your whole life. So long-term relationships have to be learned the right way. Okay. It doesn't mean that you have to be an expert in it. So some people get afraid that, oh my God, does that mean that I have to now be really good? No. But just sit on a chair without a thorn is a good long-term relationship with a chair, right? Yeah. Similarly here. So long-term. Meaning, so let's continue because you have many things to cover within this. But first point, it's a long-term. Long-term means what? It means, say I'm getting good grades, right? Say I get good grades. Most of the pressure on me as a student is now off. Nobody's going to bother you. You say, I got good grades, right? Now, how you got the good grades, only you know. Or maybe even you don't know because nobody taught you, right? Meaning that, say I have figured out how to get good grades because I have good memory in 5th grade, in 2nd grade, in 3rd grade. So I remember everything. I don't understand. I don't have to understand. I remember. You ask me this question, that's the answer. Ask this question, that's the answer, right? Everything is just pop, 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 right? Again. So my grades are awesome. People leave me alone. In math also, my grades are awesome until I hit 10th grade. Right? In 10th grade, most people go, oh, this is tough. In 11th grade, go, oh my. Right? In 11th grade, in Hindi, we say the milk and the water separate.
That means that you really find out whether you
can carry the load or not. It means that the reality of whether you understood math is now clear as opposed to in 5th grade when you had straight A's. Right? That means now we know that you didn't understand 5th grade math. Now we know because in 11th grade when it comes to advanced stuff, you cannot apply concepts. You cannot juggle the concepts. So there's one method. Another method is that you learn how to do the least amount of study so that some concepts you understand and the rest you can extrapolate. Some smart kids do that. They go and they read quickly, a couple of few, and they go, okay. And the extrapolation is good enough that the teacher goes, yeah, you kind of get it. And they're not so harsh on you because they go, you're a smart kid, you get it. So you must have got it. And that concept remains unclear to you because you only understood 5 out of the 25 concepts. The rest you were just guessing, but you had a good guess. And in some lower grades, it doesn't matter. But the concept will eventually need to be cleared. And later on, you may say, oh, that concept not clear. And then you go back and study that. On the internet, you go pick it up and you clear it. And then you're okay. But why not clear it then so that then in 10th grade when you're to clear that, instead of clearing this, you're learning 11th grade concept. So you're going ahead rather than catching up. right? Catching up is necessary. You cannot, learning is a layered sedimentation.
Explain that.
Right.
With example would be good. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, all learning is like sedimentation. You put the right layers one on top of the other. If you don't put the right layers, if there is nothing there, some future layers cannot stand. Right. So, an example would be that you are creating a building from the bottom up. So I have to put a nice, strong, earthquake resistant to some degree foundation. What is an earthquake resistant foundation? That some shock in the future that causes massive failure doesn't cause depression and I never study again. I can't recover from it. So happens a lot more often than you think. A lot of bright students, they do well, and then one year, they go, oh my God, this is too difficult, because some foundation was not clear, and they can't clear it up quickly because it's like 6 years of foundation is not clear, right? And they feel deflated, right? And then they can't recover to being that grade A student again. They think, it's not me. And they end up changing majors, or they end up studying something different, or they say, just let me get past somehow. Let me do enough to pass, and I will do something different. I will not get a job in that field requiring that skill because I can see it's not clear to me. So they compromise, but they make do. You can make do in so many ways. Okay? They make do because they were lacking emotional fortitude of how to recover from one or a couple of massive acts of failure, which everyone will face. Everyone will face something that is out of your control, where you think, oh my God, I don't know this, right? Massive act of failure. And so fortitude to recover from failure in the area of studying and applying knowledge has to be learned. It's the job of parents or teachers to teach to their kids, to their students, so that they are resilient. Resilience and recovery from failure are important parts of what you're learning, not just learning history, dates, and math, and rules of English and how to compose. No. You're learning these emotional skills because the engine that learns, that engine has to be fed so that it's optimized for learning. And it's not optimized for learning until it feels like learning and it has the confidence to say, I can understand. If I don't understand, I have the confidence to go either deeper into it or research it more somewhere else until I get it. Okay? Until I get it.
So you're saying that foundation is the most important thing, and it could be that the foundation is not laid well, and that is the reason the student is unsuccessful in carrying it.
Some 7, 8, 10, 12 years later, when the earthquake happens.
It may not happen when they are young, but
it may happen. We don't know. So it all depends, right? Meaning that, okay, so say your foundation is totally terrible. Then within 2-3 years, you'll know, oh my God, the kid needs to repeat. Why? They don't get it. Right? Now they're a little bit older, and then they spend a second year studying the same subjects. And if you put the right kind of education and effort behind it, they get it. Once they get it, then they're good to carry on. Yeah. Or you put them in remedial in the summer programs, right? So you say, okay, let's catch up on this part so that your fundamentals that weren't clear are now clear. So next time when the teacher teaches you, you don't have to come home and just learn at home. You can actually learn the first time it was taught to you. So this is what happens to kids whose foundations aren't clear. They go to school, then they expect the tutor will actually clear it for them. They don't even ask a question in the classroom because they go, I don't get it. Because they haven't learned how to learn in the way the teacher teaches. They haven't learned how to learn in conversations with their fellow students and colleagues. They need someone to digest it, chew it up, and then put it in their mouth, which is what a tutor would do, right? Remove the specific glitches in my brain outside of me, and only then I can digest it. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to me. I cannot just read a book and pick it up, right? So learning is a long-term relationship in which you have to learn how to learn. Your learning must be joyful. Otherwise, your engine is not driven towards wanting to learn. your attitude has to be robust. So when it doesn't work 5 times, you still have the tenacity to go try again in a different way until you learn it. So resilience, fortitude, tenacity. So this concept has to be learned separately, not just how to understand math or how to understand physics, right? You understand?
So how do you learn this? Because
so we'll come to that.
Yeah.
We'll come to that. So first is this is what we mean by a long-term relationship. Okay. Immediately people want to know this, right? How? No, you cannot know the how until you get a bigger picture of what all the hows are. What's the point of learning one how and then I tell you another one, you go, oh, okay, now I have to start again. No, let's get the big picture of all the things we need to learn, right? Then we'll say, how do you get there? How do you individually get there? Okay. All right. So the common mistakes students make is they depend on memory, or they depend on learning a few concepts and then guessing, right? Or they, that's it. Those are your 2 main methods of not learning appropriately, right? Of the material itself. Okay, yeah? The 2 other things you need to learn separately are emotional fortitude, right? So you have the tenacity to want to learn. And the joy of learning has to land inside you, so you feel like wanting to learn rather than just learning to get a good grade, just learning to pass, because otherwise you look stupid or you look embarrassed, right? So don't learn to prevent embarrassment. That's a poor low bar, right? You can prevent embarrassment in so many ways. And then you will never, and then by 10th grade, 12th grade, by 2nd, 3rd, 4th year of college, you will feel, oh my God, right? Because the foundation was not right. All you did was prevent embarrassment.
And it's embarrassment from whom?
From failing, getting a poor grade.